just tried to go through someone. And
it wasn't that match against Mexico, was it?
Yeah.
We highlighted that last week with Costa stepping in and saving his little mates, but
no, that injury was why I started tackling differently. So the Mexico tackle, there's no way I get injured like that,
Boxy.
you can only injure.
That was great.
Not get injured.
I don't think I've really touched him, which was probably lucky for him. But the thing is, I thought he was the one pulling me back, so I was like, it was like a little bit of revenge and a bit more in that.
Oh, you're not getting off that easy. What's going through the head in that moment, Boxy? Because it's a powder keg. We were all seeing it at home.
Mm-hmm.
When you're leading Mexico, they start doing what they do, and then you come up.
Yeah,
with
I think it's like stoppage time. We're 2-1 down, so we're trying to chase a goal. We've just defended a corner. Ball at my feet. I'm in the opposition half with the ball at my feet, so I'm in a place I should never be, anyways. And I'm getting I'm getting tugged back, and I think because I had 3 or 4 runners that I was trying to get the ball to. I think we've got like Costa and Ryan Thomas kind of making runs past me. So a lot better players who you want with the ball in the final third. Get pulled back, and then you're not thinking straight. You're just trying to. I'm trying to go through someone, and Guerrero just kind of stepped in. And
he was just in the way.
I think the player was probably going, "Hola, patron," pulling him back. You need to be there.
Yeah.
What are you doing in our half?
They clearly hadn't met Samoans before. Boxy just wanted to introduce them, mate.
Yeah.
But then
exactly.
as soon as that happened and I get pushed to the ground, I just realization hits me. It's like, shit, I'm probably getting sent off there. So I'm just kind of like, that's where you see the funny image. I'm just sitting there like chilling on the ground while the entire All Whites team is like throwing handbags with all the Mexicans.
How good was Tommy Smith? Was it Tommy Smith coming flying in?
Oh,
Tommy came in late.
Charges in from miles
But,
away.
This is the best bit because Boxy started the whole thing. He's now sitting on the ground.
Yeah.
He's probably the biggest person
doing
there.
nothing. Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the hobbits show up. So you've got Wee Mac, you've got Ryan Thomas, Costa rocks in as well.
Next to nothing, mate. He was just.
That's what I mean,
got
though.
barreled,
But
man.
they came charging in. All those guys had my back. So I love that clip. It's pretty awesome.
You reckon?
It's so
You reckon
good.
that it was Tommy Smith's highest speed ever coming in? Top
Maybe.
speed?
Yeah.
Sorry, Tommy.
You would know.
But you see, I commented. I saw that and I had to watch it again. I'm like, you go, Tommy. You get in there.
Got the GPS
Yeah.
How fast is he going? Yeah. Boxy, sorry, there's one more fight I want to get into. No, this
How
was
many-
this. No. Do you
How many have
remember
I been a part of
2007 Under-20 World Cup qualifying? We had around about 20,000 people show up in Trust Stadium,
Trust
out in
Stadium,
West
yeah.
Auckland. I'll let you on a secret. Around about 99% of them were Fijians.
Oh.
We were playing Roy Krishna. Roy Krishna's Fijian team. We ended up winning 3-2 in the last 5 minutes or something like that.
So I think that whole first half was pretty spicy. I think Brox is getting the SHIT kicked out of them. Oceania ref kind of letting a lot go that shouldn't go, and it's just a pretty heated affair. And then the whistle blows for halftime. Yeah, and it's about a 100-meter trot up to the stadium where the changing sheds are. So Stu Jacobs is kind of ushering us up there to get away from the Fijian team to cool things down. So we're jogging up, and I think I'm one of the stragglers getting up there, and I kind of hear one of the Fijians coming up behind me, and then I kind of like slow down walking through the door, and then he kind of like pushes into my back. And then at this point where the refs are trailing, so he's come into the frame of the door, so no one can see. And so he's pushed me, and then I kind of instinctively just turn around and allegedly jab him in like the lip, and he kind of like stutters back.
Where did his tooth
and then
end
it
up,
all
Box?
just through his lip, I think. So
on the ground.
I don't really recall all that. So
Allegedly.
Yeah,
and then-
allegedly.
So they were all crying to the refs, and obviously no one saw anything, so got away with another one there. And then we come out for the second half. They kind of lose their cools. I think 1 or 2 players get sent off, and then we score late to win 3-2 and go to Canada 2007, I believe.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
That's
a
where the
fun
story
one.
starts. Yeah. You've been coaching him for a while.
Yeah, long time.
Long time. So
Long
when did you
time.
start?
Ooh, would it have been like 2016, 17? Or
I think my 17 off season, so like this November, December 2017.
Yeah.
So when Boxy was 32.
He was a pup.
That was probably when my career started, yeah.
Going on your Instagram, your stable of clients, I suppose, is pretty impressive.
Boxall's right at the top of the list, of course,
exactly.
before we start putting them down the order.
Alphabetically, yeah.
But help me out here. So you've got Kai Kara France, Izzy Adesanya, Nico Boxall.
Yep.
Very important there as well. Quade Cooper and Sonny Bill Williams are the ones that I always saw on Instagram. Is there anyone else in there from a different discipline?
Jacob Spoonley?
Absolutely. I did one session.
One session, one and done.
Absolutely.
How do you improve on perfection, right?
Still got DOMs, but it's fine.
Back in the days, and even throughout the later, Tom Abercrombie, when he was, back in the Breakers and Tall Blacks. So that was from like 2014. So a long time. Some of the Warriors boys, NRL boys from the Knights, you name it, Jodie Taylor, that when she was playing for England. There's quite a few. I'm probably forgot.
You're missing out a lot.
He's been humble here, Boxy. So help us out, mate. Before he started working with the All Whites in New Zealand football, what attracted you to a Sun Singh off season?
I think because I got introduced to him through my sister. I think they've done a few bits together, like Les Mills, and Casey had kind of mentioned him and said that I should do some work with him. And I don't know, in previous years, I like to do my own thing and just go at my own pace and do my own thing. So I was kind of reluctant, but went in with him, and I kind of feel like that's when I feel like up until that point, my career kind of like, it had been like pretty bang average. And then from then on, it kind of, that's where I feel like it's kind of improved for me. I think that's kind of where it started. Just all that work off the field with Sunz.
A lot of healthy competition in the training groups, and whether it be 2, 3 or a big group, just healthy comp. And we just try to be good humans, hardworking humans.
I've seen some dancing.
Oh, you got to have dancing. Got to have dancing, got to have good vibes, good music.
What do you mean it's not for you? I'm pretty sure I saw an Instagram post where you're dancing around with your brother.
Boxy's got the two-step going.
You saw that?
Yeah. And then you've got the slap and the kick going on. You got the South African.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. Just load the weights on the bar, I'll lift those, and I'll leave the dancing to Sunz and my brother.
I think I can be honest here. Boxy's got the physique of a Greek god. He keeps himself
more like Maui, he's like
the dude's chiseled, right? But it's more than that. It's more than the chiseled body. Who has the best engine in terms of the All Whites, as far as you're concerned?
Ooh, there's a lot of big engines on that team, especially the midfield boys. They'll just go 90 minutes like they just started 5 minutes.
So you're talking what? Marcus Stamanic,
Joe
Bell, Alex Rufer is in that conversation?
Rufer can go. Yeah, Elijah Just, Callum McCoward. You've got pretty much a whole team that can go. Libby, big engine.
Libby's up there for me. Libby's massive, I think. Especially in recent windows where he's played 90 minutes for Empoli, travels, 20-odd hours, and then plays 180 minutes for New Zealand, and then goes back into the Empoli team. It's, Libby's a machine.
One of the things I'd like to talk to the two of you about, Spoonie's a goalkeeper because he didn't do much running. How has football fitness changed over the last, let's say, 20 years, where maybe there was a focus on being fit to run long periods of time, but it's also about strength. You've got to have strong legs, strong arms, chest and back, as well as the ability to run long distance.
I think for me, doing all the bits, for my offs, I have like a 2 to 3 month off season, and I don't touch a ball. It's all running, all gym work, and I think that kind of sets the base for. So I think, for example, last year I played 40 something games. Fair bit of travel involved there too, and I think those strength sessions kind of sets the base to do it over and over again. I think if you're not in the gym doing those kind of stuff, then for that amount of games, your body just breaks down. You see the top teams in Europe, they're playing close to 60 games. So I think if you're not either rotating or doing all that gym work, your body will not have the capacity, and you just see it breaking down. So I think, Sunz will put some sports sciencey twist on it, but that's layman's terms for me.
The thing we got to understand is the game's evolved to a lot more being faster and physical. You see the likes of Ronaldo and stuff posting photos of how jacked they look. But then you see the physical side of the game. And to be explosive, you have to be strong. So I guess if the game is developing in a certain speed and your competitors are getting faster than you, you've got work to do. So if we take back to the track and field training, sprinters, so I'm not saying we need to get as big, but we get strong. Strong is not big. Strong is strong. All right? So we get players strong and powerful. So things we do is leave the ball. We don't need to worry about the game style running, the start-stop. Let's focus on the strength work now, because when we get into the season, yes, we can lift, but we cannot lift at the intensity of 2 months out. So we can really go as if we are a strength athlete, build a threshold or a base that's high enough. So even when we have a drop-off or a maintenance, it's still at a decent level. Versus going into the season with a bang average strength level, 44 games down the line, there's no way you're going to maintain your strength. And then you want to know, how do you get injuries? Well, you're getting weaker. Joints, everything around those joints need to be strong, muscles, tendons. So we try and get you strong and then slowly transition into more athletic or ballistic movements, and then start introducing game style shuttles, repeated sprints. So that's where the game has come to now, whereas you see everyone so tactful, etc., and then boom, moments of just gone.
Boxy, when it comes to your training, how important is it to have somebody like Nico that you can go against as well?
Me and him have been very competitive. I think in Sunz's sessions, there's always a lot of pushing each other along. I think there's quite a few things that he's kind of got me on.
Such as?
He can't actually. The squat. I thought he had them on the squats, but
he didn't.
What was that day? I think I outsquatted.
You outsquatted. It was
Sunny
Ball.
Just before we do that, so all right, we're jumping into the names here. What are the range of exercises that you're doing? Because we're kind of skirted around the outsides of them. We're saying we're doing some lifting, but what, like, if you had to pick 5 that you're doing in a session, what are they?
We were doing deadlifts. We're doing box squats, hip thrusts, and that particular day, Nico still says, "Well, I wasn't there, so it doesn't count," but I still think Boxy has this one. We're doing back box squats. So pretty much just a box, you sit and you get back up. And he got to 300 on the back kgs. Sunnyball got to 270 and Quaid was at 240.
My word.
He drove 300 meters when we were at the club room the other day.
Oh, yeah?
As well, mate.
That's an insane amount of weight. Like, how did that feel on your body when you're trying to do that sort of stuff?
Bar, yeah.
The bar must have been bending.
I think it was a touch, but I think when it's on the way up and I've already seen like Sonny Bill and Quaid fail on like 270 or whatever it was, and you throw more weight and then you're kind of on the way up and it's just like, I don't know, you don't think you have it in you, but then to see lifting obviously these boys who have been at the top of world rugby for decades was a cool little moment.
I bet.
I've gone from worried to scared. So he sees Sonny Bill fail at 270. He's like, I'll do 3.
Chuck a few more plates on for me.
Sunz, come on, mate.
That was just like the healthy competition we had. It was like, okay, that's what you got. Let me see what I've got.
Yeah,
and just keep driving those standards.
So a lot of the rugby boys were shocked. They're like, how come? And then I have to explain, well, footballers use their legs a lot, you know? So, yeah.
Hey, just before we move on to World Cup qualifiers and things like that, Spoonley in the gym, he did one session and then he was done.
Yeah.
Why was that? Was he untrainable, uncoachable? You pushed him too hard? What was the story there? Because like he probably needs to get back in the gym at some point, so you might be able to re-enlist him as a client.
Yeah,
no.
I thought I might have had to call St. John's.
There was a moment.
It was that bad.
There was a moment.
Okay, well, tell us about the moment, Spoon.
So we were doing that. What's that god-awful machine, Boxy, where it's like the skiing? It's
the ski erg. Yeah.
He had me on that, and he lied to me. And he said, we're going to do 2. We did 4. So on the third one, mentally fatigued, physically exhausted, and I lay down for a little bit too long, and then I started getting dizzy.
Oh,
yeah. No good.
Yeah, it was good.
Sounds
Good
familiar.
time. It was a good time.
And he saw the camera, and so he starts playing up to it.
Yeah,
and then
you see?
there's a little bit of like
And-
manipulation going on.
The thing is, I think he went a little hard because Izzy was in the gym as well, training at the same time. Yeah. So
Trying
he
to
did-
impress.
I think he came over and saw
Little
me.
bit of
Yeah.
ego.
He's like,
Yeah.
"You okay, mate?
Yeah.
You go." I think he just thought I was a random gym goer as well.
Yeah. He wasn't saying, hey, you're former All Whites goalkeeper Jacob Spoonley. Wow. Can I get a selfie with you?
Oh, man.
Absolutely not.
Too good.
So Boxy and Sunz, you're both involved in the World Cup qualifiers here next month. Look, you're pretty old, Boxy, in terms of a footballer. You know, you're 36 years of age. By the time the World Cup rocks around, you'll be knocking on the door of 38. I'm sure you're going to tell me age is but a number. How much longer do you have in terms of playing for the All Whites? Surely the World Cup in your own backyard over there in the States is a massive lure.
Honestly, I'm at the point where it's a year at a time. Obviously looking ahead to March. Obviously we expect to qualify for the World Cup in those 2 games there. In terms of how long do I have left, I don't know. I'm a year at a time. I'm still feeling good. I still back up games, travel back for the national team, back up those games. So I don't know. I obviously don't know what 36, 37 is meant to feel like, but I don't think it's. From what I would kind of spoke to people in my late 20s, early 30s, I didn't expect it to be like this. So I'm feeling good. Obviously I have this season in Minnesota, and the goal is the World Cup, but it's kind of a year at a time for me. It's such an awesome group of guys that we have on that national team. It's like you want to keep showing up for them. I obviously want to be one of the ones on the starting 11, but also just helping these. We've got so much talent coming up, and I think if I can do anything to help those guys kind of further their career and develop as footballers, then that's would be a big bonus for me as well.
Let's just jump on that for the moment, Boxy, because if we go back to Qatar and obviously the 1-0 loss against Costa Rica, which still hurts, but the question around that group was with Tommy, with you, with Winston there is quite a senior backline. Now we've got the introduction of Finn Sermon at Portland. We've got Tyler Bindon, who could potentially be on the move this window. We've got Lucas Kelly-Heald coming through.
Nando.
It's been replenished to a certain extent, and I'm sure it's a lot more competitive now. Is that helping with the enjoyment and with the kind of the really stretching out the last of what you've got in the tank?
I don't know if that helps. I think the competition's good because I don't want to be showing up and be. You don't want to travel 30 hours and sit on the bench for 2 games. So I want to be playing those games first and foremost. So that's the competition side is great, but I mean, when you're not playing and you've got such an awesome young Kiwi who's getting that opportunity to play for their country, that's cool to see. And I think seeing the leaps and bounds that someone like Tyler's kind of made the last couple of years. Like he's miles ahead of like just about anyone that I can think of in the past 10, 15 years that I've kind of watched or played alongside. I think not as a footballer, but like where he is mentally, and I think the way he goes about his business is cool to see for someone. I mean, how old? He's 18, 19 years old. It's kind of scary that he's played. Well, I think it's like over 100 games in.
More minutes than Yamal, mate, last season.
Yeah. So it's wild to see, and it's cool to, I don't know, maybe have play a little part in his journey, and I think the next, couple of years for him is going to be pretty massive.
And Sunz, that's what he's like on the field. What's he like to train and to work with behind the scenes to get him ready for game day?
Oh, Tyler's a dream. I think today I was just talking to someone and I said he's an 18, 19-year-old, but has a brain of a 35-year-old. He is so switched on. Like, he's so mature. His conversations, like, we can have a laugh, but then he's just particular about the way he prepares, the things he does that feels good. So yeah, and to touch on things Boxy was talking about, you know, and we were talking about age. With the advancement of the game, we now can control what players do. That's why you have players at 37, 38, 39.
Yeah, I want to hear about this actually, because when we were coming up, you had boys going out on like a Tuesday, Wednesday night, and then after the game, that's not happening any longer. No. So do we even have a reference point for someone like Boxy and saying, well, I don't know how long he can, how much longer can he go
Maybe
for?
Last year, somebody asked me and I said he could keep going until he can't keep going. There's no number on it. The fact that there's modern science involved, we can do things pre and post training. Now we can control training so well. We've got things to monitor internal load. Back in the day, it was just turn up, play. Yeah, I'm good, coach, but you really don't know what's going on. Nah. First, now we're going, actually, you could do half a session because in another couple hours you'll be fine, and then, so we actually control a lot of that, so we'll prolong you.
Yeah, I remember playing first team for University AFC as like an 18-year-old, and you had the elder statesman in the team, and old Johnny, he went out and sank nine. It
was a badge of honour, right?
Yeah, exactly. 9 beers last night, and he turned up, and he still put in a man of the match performance. So I'm guessing that is no longer the case. And Boxy, you're playing at the highest level. When was the last time you heard of anybody doing that kind of thing, getting absolutely written off before a game?
2017, probably. When I was in South Africa, we'd have so much guys with so much talent, but so this is when we're like training and playing in Johannesburg, and this guy's from Soweto there. He's obviously got a lot of friends and homies who back there, and there were, I mean, if we had a day off, he's back there drinking, he's doing all-nighters, and he shows up 2 days later, and you can tell. But then on the weekend, he shows up, he's one of our best players. And I think for that reason, even for our home games, we're forced to go into camp. So we go into a hotel the night before a home game. I think because the coaches kind of knew that those players, if they were left to their own devices, they might not show up the next day.
Oh, man, I honestly thought you were going to say, 20 years ago. But to say inside the last decade, that's wild, man. That's wild.
I feel like I kind of grew up in between the two, where I was starting my career was kind of still those, like my first games, as an 16, 17, 18-year-old playing with Central United, Auckland City, where it was that kind of mindset where after the training, you're up in the club rooms having a pint and steak and fries and all that. So I think I've kind of seen through that transition, and there's times where I wonder what would have happened if I'd started what I've been doing the last 5 or 6 years if I'd started that sooner. But I'm happy where I'm at.
Yeah, I wonder where I would have got to had I not been sinking all those bourbon and cokes in the Papatoetoe AFC club rooms after the match.
You'd have a few less stories, though.
It ruined my stomach. I think that I've still got issues to this day.
Golf, mate. And give people an indication into Woodsy's game, mate. Because I was surprised. I thought he'd be amazing off the tee box, but it turns out it's the inverse.
I don't think he carries a driver in his bag. I think he needs to work on that. He's a 3
It can
wood
be
off
intimidating
the tee,
up there, though, eh? With everybody watching, and you've got to get it straight. You've got to get it long. It's nerve-wracking stuff, mate. If he doesn't carry a driver, I understand it.
Box, I won't drop the course name into it because we don't do free shout-outs on the pod. But we showed up to this course recently, and they had a caddy for each of us and 2 spotters. So you're on every tee box, and there's 10 people there, Box?
Yeah. And we needed all of those spotters and caddies because we were spraying it.
Well, if that's what's happening for you guys, if that's what's happening for you guys, I wouldn't get an invite.
Oh, mate, absolutely not. But then you put Woodsy inside 150 metres, mate, and he is dialed in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. His irons are pretty tidy. I know him and Tommy have some good matches. Obviously we've been pretty fortunate the last couple camps back in New Zealand. We've had a little bit of time to to get out on a couple of the links courses back there that we try to make the most of every time we're back in New Zealand.
What you're describing is his golf game is almost a metaphor for his ability in the English Premier League, because you put him inside the box and, man, he comes alive. What have you made of old Woodsy's efforts for Nottingham Forest? Third in the Premier League. He's scoring so many goals. He scored a hat-trick the other day against Brighton.
48th in the all-time EPL
it's
goal
just
scoring
mad.
charts.
The dude's 33. He's getting better with age, just like yourself, Boxy. Watching from across the pond, what have you made of his efforts, mate?
Mate, I've loved it. I think when you've kind of seen his, obviously first started playing with Woodsy with the All Whites in 2011, so you've kind of grown up kind of watching him play in the Championship and kind of grind his way up. And I think, mate, even when he was at Burnley banging in those goals, like, that's so hard to do for, not to like bag on Burnley, but just the kind of the lack of service and probably lack of time he'd probably spend in the final third.
You're bagging on Burnley.
Yeah, bag on Burnley. Boxy, there's no retribution coming your way. Go, mate, unleash it. Rain's off.
Yeah.
So,
Boxall bags Burnley is the headline coming out of this one.
So to see him do it at that level for so long, and then obviously he's just taken another gear, another level at Nottingham Forest the past 2 seasons. It's obviously amazing to see, and the fact that he still has so much desire to come to Vanuatu and play for New Zealand, play for the All Whites in these World Cup qualifiers, where, I mean, we could probably certainly could win these games without him, but it means so much to him that he still travels 40 hours or whatever it is to these games, and is still able to show up at Nottingham and hat-trick on the weekend. And he's so, like, I'll message him after most goals or games he plays that he's done well or whatever. He just like brushes it off. It's him scoring on the weekend. It's like, it's just another Saturday around here. He does it in such a cool way.
The thing I noticed, like, through all of his Burnley and stuff, but it just looks like his club, the boys are just having fun.
Yeah.
He's so differential to the midfielders, Like, he wants to give credit to the whole team.
And I watch all their socials and the players' socials, and they're just having fun. They're taking the piss out of everybody. They're training small-sided games are just fun. It for me, it just seems like that culture is showing why they're doing so well. Yeah, everyone's just connecting, and it's a vibe.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you perform when you're in an environment that's like that?
Yeah.
And then when you speak to him, he's just happy.
Yeah, but you're so right, Boxy, about the service. And while we're continuing to bag on Burnley, the service that he's being afforded at Nottingham Forest is so far beyond what he's ever received before. The likes of Elanga, Gibbs White, they are putting it on a platter for him. And he knows what he needs to do to get into the right positions, but these guys are actually getting him the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I think if you're watching the Nottingham Forest games, the way they set up without the ball, they kind of lead teams into like traps and then he can make such intelligent runs where within 1-2 passes, he's on the edge of something in the box. And what's he up to? Like almost, 15, 16 goals now?
Is it 17? Yeah, 17
Sorry.
goals. Yeah.
Sorry, Chris. Yes, that's fine.
I've stolen a goal.
I mean, it could have been 18 if Lewis Dunk didn't tap in the own goal as well.
I know.
So,
Yeah.
No, he's on fire. I love to see it. Love to see it.
Boxy, we've got the World Cup qualifiers in March, and we've asked this question a bit because there's a generation that have come through. I can't remember if you went to Mexico in 2013, mate. You were definitely there in 2017, 2021 as well. Came close against Peru and then Costa Rica. What would it mean for you to get over the line now if we were to do so in March as part of this group?
Very little, I think. I think because we're expected to, I think to do it in those playoff games against Peru or Costa Rica would have meant a lot more, because you're really having to upset someone and do something that's like unexpected. And I think, we got close, but we failed. And I think this time around, yeah, something monumentally
It's just different, huh?
disastrous has to happen for us to not get there. But yeah, I think it's less about getting there. I think it's this 2026, it'll be more about what we do achieve when we get there. It's not just about appearing at a World Cup for us, I think.
I like him. He's a realist.
No, it's good. I mean, it's a real honest response, which is great.
What has David Beckham, Inter Miami, Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez, what has that done for the Major League Soccer competition, Boxy?
I think it brings in a lot of fans who obviously who kind of don't understand the level of the MLS, and I think it brings the more casual fans. And I think every Miami game, I was just going to touch on that point. I think you see LeBron James, you see all the hip hop artists, you see the biggest Kim K's and James Harden, they're all showing up at Miami games. So I think there's so many more eyes on the league, and I think in his first 18 months or so here, that Leo Messi guy's done pretty well.
The Leo Messi guy.
So who are you rubbing shoulders with when you play into Miami away? All those rock stars and superstars and celebrities coming up. Hey, Michael Boxall, played a great game out there, man.
That does not happen. No, we actually, because the way the league's balanced, we only play maybe half a dozen teams in the Eastern Conference. So we haven't played Miami since Messi's been there. I think he actually comes to our place this May, I believe. So
11th of May, Boxy.
You'll get the hype there.
There we go. There we go. So, obviously been lucky to play against some of the best players in the world. There's been like Ronaldinho. That was a fun day, wasn't it, Spoons?
Oh my God. Yeah.
2008.
I was thinking about this last night when we were texting. And
was it keeping you up late, was it?
Oh, Boxy, let's go into it, mate. It was.
Mate,
it was the one time on a field I was scared.
The best performance you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, to this day. Mate, it was like an afternoon kickoff in some, I don't know, random city in China, and it's like super
up
humid,
near
30
North Korea,
degrees.
wasn't it? We were based in an industrial
like
port up near North Korea.
Yeah. So we're like struggling. They're like, we don't touch the ball. We're like breathing in secondhand cigarette smoke and smog and everything. And like, he's standing in there, ball on a string, the biggest smile on his face, scoring goals for fun. Like, this guy, it was like, looking back, it was fun to watch, but being a part of it was pretty miserable.
Mate,
really demoralising.
So they scored after 30 seconds, Box, because Sean Van Rooyen gave the ball away. Yeah,
it was early doors. I just remember seeing, from the kickoff, I kind of came back, and then you just see Marcelo tearing down their left flank, and that team was stacked. Looking back at it, I remember walking off that field. I was like, you know what? Because I think I was like 18 years old. I was like, hey, I don't think this professional football thing's for me. I'm going to go back to university and I'm going to study. And, I don't think I'm cut out for it after, because who they have, like Lucas Leiva, Ronaldinho, Pato, Anderson. It was...
This is above my pay
grade.
Thiago
Silva there.
Thiago Silva was at the back,
truly.
mate. Yeah. It was ridiculous. Yeah.
So how many did they put past you?
No, well, this is the thing, all right?
Or were you on the bench?
No. I was most definitely on the field.
Oh, you were there?
Horrible.
Oh, my God. Gloves on, boots on. This is amazing. This is unlike you.
I think we still had Nelly as well, didn't we, Box? He was still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is...
Yeah, so it's me and Nelly in the back.
Yeah. Ian Hogg down the left, Sam Jenkins down the right. They had a horrible time. There were two highlights from it, and neither of them are goals. There was the moment when Cole Peverley got nutmegged 3 times in a row. Like
in our
box, inside 2 seconds.
Oh, wow.
There was the other one, Boxy, which was given offside, mercifully. We had a corner, and we're like, right, we're going to get back into the game. It was early in the second half. They were 3-0 up at the time. Simon Elliott's whipped in the ball. The goalkeeper's come and claimed it. And Ronaldinho is by himself on halfway. Marcelo has just taken off. Diego Alves, the goalkeeper, has done that little beautiful sidewinder. He's hit Ronaldinho on his chest.
Of course he has.
Ronaldinho's we had 3 players around him. He's put the ball in from 40 yards onto the chest.
No dramas.
He's chested it up. Marcelo, he's like gone turbo. What's the anime word? Super Saiyan.
Super Saiyan.
Super Saiyan.
So at what point are you shitting your pants?
Now. The ball's not even over halfway. I can see Marcelo. And Craig Henderson's got like 10 yards on him. He's not even looking at the ball. He's just taken off. So in the time that it's gone from the goalkeeper to Ronaldinho up to his chest, Ronaldinho backheels it, not even looking.
Of course.
Yeah. Marcelo's still 5 yards the wrong side of Craig Henderson. He's gone up a gear again, and he's just flying now.
He's gone Super Saiyan 2.
Craig's had to concede, and he's now taking the angle to make sure he doesn't have a straight run on goal. And Marcelo has then chipped it up, and the only thing that saved us is Alexander Pato. He was lazy, and he was a yard offside. So the linesman, but they got to our box inside 3 passes in about 6 seconds, and it was
incredible,
frightening. Like
what you're describing is the old television commercial from years ago, where they're in the airport and they're just pinging long-range passes to each other over the baggage carousel.
Yeah. Exactly. I think Spoons, looking back, holding them to 5, we did all right. Yeah,
it's good.
We held them to 5 goals.
That's good.
Yeah, that's real good. That's real good.
Didn't go double figures.
Box. I mean, it was 4-0. 4-0 at the 60-minute mark. It was 5-0 in extra time. There was a period there where I thought they were going to put 10 on us, though, mate. Were you as scared as I was on that field?
Probably. I think there's a lot of that game I've kind of blanked out. But it's funny. It's like, you remember that? Yeah, like the double meg on Pevs. When Marcelo's coming to our bot, he's make them to get past them. And instead of like going, he's like in on goal. He decides to go back and go away. So they were just toying with us. It was
brutal. I mean, it's kind of funny, but it's brutal at the same time. Like, I'm in on goal, but I enjoyed that so much. I'm going to do it again.
Mate, honestly,
it's like PlayStation.
We were prey boxy, They were predators, mate. They had figured out that we were like the antelope that caught us, and now they're just playing with us. That's what it felt like, mate. And you were just helpless.
Well, look, it speaks to the quality of the All Whites now, doesn't it? You know, in such a short space of time, the giant strides that you guys have made, Boxy, because nowadays when you look at it, we've got players playing all around the world, full professionals, and I honestly feel like that wouldn't happen today.
Yeah. No, actually, I was kind of reflected on, obviously, the last Olympics that I was lucky enough to go to. So obviously, I kind of look back on the team who do we have? Chris Killen, Simon Alley, and Ryan Nelson were the 3 overage players that kind of, and then I was like, looking
Jeremy
back
Brocky
at it now,
scored in his size extra small against China as well, which is hilarious.
But I remember looking back at it now, I'm like, I felt bad for those guys that was kind of the team of footballers that they had to kind of come into, but that's what New Zealand was back then. And then looking back to last year in France, the team, because I was one of the overage players, and going into that team, there's so much talent there coming in at that level that team was so much better than the team that I was a part of in 2008. But then I also felt bad again.
You had a shocking goalkeeper.
I'm a console.
I mean, some might say he doesn't even keep goals, but he just found himself in that position.
Wasn't that
Yeah, but then I felt bad because I had Ryan Nelson coming to the team to help me, and then these boys just had me coming. So it's,
Stop it. One of my great regrets is the running race that never took place, which was probably about 10, maybe 12 years ago, Boxy, where myself and Darcy Waldegrave actually challenged you to a foot race.
That. Yeah,
and it just never happened, and we tried our hardest.
I wonder why it never happened.
Well, look, because he was playing with the Wellington Phoenix, and I was based in Auckland, and the Wellington Phoenix is in Wellington. But there was one occasion where Russell Gray, the old manager, kit man, he tried to organise it. You guys were playing a game at Eden Park.
At Eden Park.
No,
that's right. And so myself and Darcy, we turned up to like the open training session, but you'd scarp it. I don't know if you were scared or what.
Smoke bomb, Boxy. Very good from you. I like that.
And I just wish that it could have happened back then, because right now, as a 44-year-old man who doesn't move so well, who has DOMs from going to the gym 3 days ago and still moves like I've got a carrot up my you-know-where.
Tore his hamstring down visiting the Wellington scene.
It's never happening. It's never happening, man.
I'm sorry we didn't make it happen, but I don't know.
He's not.
Presuming I get caught up in March, like we could figure something out. I could run backwards.
No, mate.
I was just about to say we could make this fair. Boxy goes backwards.
But even if I was running forwards, he would still beat me. I reckon my hamstring and my ankle goes in the first 20 metres. Sunz, how do you get rid of DOMs? Because I'm still battling, man.
You keep
I'm still
going.
battling.
You keep going.
But I feel like I'm going to rip a hamstring every time I
keep
do an
going.
exercise.
Just keep going.
Is it like how you avoid a hangover? You just keep drinking. Is
Yeah,
that the
just
same
keep
sort of-
going.
You just keep going.
Keep going.
Boxy.
Do you want to do the thingy?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go on.
Green button.
And here's your starting 11.
All right, Box. We're jumping into the starting 11. So,
Okay.
what is your worst ground that you've ever had to travel to?
Probably Polokwane. It's like a small town north, about 4 or 5 hours north of Pretoria.
Sunz is cracking up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a great place.
So there's like
This is a Kiwi audience here, Boxy, so help us out.
Not a great place.
okay. So there's like one of the World Cup stadiums there, and that's like world class. And then about 200 meters from there is like this little dirt training patch with like a couple stands around the outside, and yeah, that was one of the away grounds that we play at, and that was my least favorite trip like ever.
Yeah, you could build sandcastles. Yeah.
sorry, Box. Just to make it worse, you've got this beautiful world-class stadium, and you're like, oh my God, we're going there. And then the bus just dips off right at the
Yeah.
end.
And picture
Pretty much.
middle of South Africa.
Yeah.
You know, hot,
Yeah.
dry, hard,
South Africans.
sandy, dusty. Yeah.
Good combo.
Pleasant.
Speaking to Mr. Nutrition, what is your pre-match meal?
I've just started doing pancakes. That's the one.
McDonald's pancakes.
Yeah.
I mean, it may as well be any kind of pancakes.
Okay.
Oh,
and
right.
then just bury them in syrup. Yeah.
Oh, beauty. So no collagen in there? Nothing, no more product placement for Libby?
I do sometimes, if I'm making them myself, doing the mixture myself, I will put some, Dose and Co collagen.
Oh, there you go. Who is your All Whites roommate?
I have taken over I think the oldest person on the trip gets to go solo. So, yeah, that's me right now.
Beautiful. Well, who was it beforehand, though?
Most recently, in Qatar, it was Tim Payne.
What is your golf handicap?
I'm an 11.
Oh, it's not bad.
Not great. I can only play like 5-6 months of the year, so I say it's down to that because all the courses are snowed under and frozen. So I blame that for being worse.
What is the place that you've traveled to in your career that you want to go back to after you finished?
I think Vancouver's up there, and then Melbourne's up there too. All the golf courses in the Sound Valley are top draw.
Didn't say Polokwane.
Yeah. could make a golf course there. Lots of bunkers.
Brilliant.
Box, what was your first club, mate?
Ellerslie AFC.
Ellerslie, East Auckland.
That's a
Stand
first
up.
for the
That was
pod.
my first
I was
club
Pakuranga
coming in the
town,
country.
mate.
So
Okay,
it's a Sun Singh first club too.
Yeah, 2001
Ooh,
I
there we
got to NZ, Ellerslie.
Right on.
Michael
I think
Zav.
Yep,
Michael
What a
Zav.
place.
Michael Zav.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is your favourite non-footballing athlete, Box?
Ooh. I think Tiger's got to be up there.
Yeah, Tiger's popped up a couple of times actually.
I'd love for somebody to say Jacob Spoonley.
Non-football, yeah.
Yeah.
You're a dick.
Yeah, I know.
What is the movie that you'd like to go back and watch for the first time?
The Untouchables. It's like a French movie about. Oh, you got to watch it. I don't want to. It's the film I've watched probably a dozen times and it never gets old. Yeah.
Based
Nice.
on the performance of Brazil that day.
Yes.
I got a quick 5-second jump in here. He said French, but do you guys watch movies of another language and do you have it dubbed or do you go English subtitles?
Subtitles.
Okay.
Yeah, although I find myself reading the subtitles.
Well,
and I can't-
that's how you
no,
understand
I know,
it, mate.
I know, but it's...
Because you've got one
No,
person
no.
monotone doing everybody's
Shut up,
dialogue.
Boxy.
How else are you going to understand it?
Yeah, I know, but I'm too. What I'm trying to say is I'm too focused on the subtitles, so I miss the visual.
Do you have a problem reading?
Oh man, you're a strange dude.
God damn it! How did this turn on me again?
I was gonna say 5 goals, can't read.
Yeah. Actually, could have been more goals. I just couldn't read the scoreboard.
Oh dear.
Box, who is the team that you supported growing up?
I was an Arsenal fan growing up.
Oh, so when does Woodsy play Arsenal next?
I don't know, but he's 100% bagging against them for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely, and it makes the shirt swap even better at the end of the game, right? Because you've got an order in there, I'm sure.
No. I'm that's not for me. It's,
Not for you.
Yeah. Anyone that requests shirts on behalf of someone that doesn't happen. Yeah.
What's your worst injury been, mate?
I sprained my MCL 2007, probably out for a couple months.
That's pretty good.
I was just about to say.
Touch wood, I've only got
Touch wood,
2
yeah,
injuries from.
The man's good. And even though he said MCL, I was like, it's not that grand. But yeah, he's been very good.
Last question. What is your coffee order?
Green tea with honey. Although every time we're on tour in
It's getting there.
started a few years ago in Marbella, me and Sunz, we go out and we find any cafe that does Moroccan tea. So that's our little thing on tour.
That's every tour. We got to find a Moroccan tea spot. We will locate it.
Talk us through the Moroccan tea.
We will find
What is Moroccan tea?
Oh,
It's
you've got to experience it.
So we had the best of the best in the streets of Marbella, Old Town Marbella, was the first time we got it. So it's just like green tea with mint and probably an unhealthy dose of sugar. And it's like it's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm not a coffee drinker, so I'm typically green tea with honey, but with Sunz we're trying to source the Moroccan tea.
Beautiful.
Good stuff.
Beautiful. Well, Boxy, thank you so much for your time, mate. Finish on the Moroccan tea. That's a great way to roll out, Jack.
Remember to bookend it, eh? Yeah, there you go.
And here's your starting 11.
Yeah, good luck on the edit.
Yeah, I'm going to need all the luck I can get. All right.
Sweet as, man. Thank you so much.
We're done, bud.
All good.
We're done.
Good to see you guys.
One of the probably best moments in my life, experiences, riding Paris on Lime bikes at 2:30 a.m. in the morning.
Were you double biking?
Nah.
Tandem.
The tandem?
Thank you.
Yeah, that would have
Double
been
biking?
Yeah, I've been on fire today.
Yeah, that would have been romantic. Paris, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just draped across the handlebars.
Yeah,
and
I'm not sure who's in the front.
Sunz is in the basket.
I'm not sure who's in the front and who's in the back. But we got the bicycles, put our little map there, and he led. And you can imagine now 2 a.m., pitch dark, but warm lighting everywhere. Just no one was really on the roads because it's Olympics, a lot of police out and stuff, and cafes were still open. But it was like the most peaceful thing ever we've done. We're just riding in the middle of the street in Paris, just going to the museum just there for us. Eiffel Tower just there, lit up. And it's just 2 of us riding, and we're like, this has to be the best thing ever. Like the feeling.
Absolute magic.
Yeah, like you I don't even know how to describe it, but
Surreal, huh?
Yeah, it was. When I told my partner, I go, it's probably one of the best things I've done in my life, and she's like, excuse me? I go, I'm sorry, but it's the best
Sunz
thing.
and Box
riding a bicycle.
Classic.
Oh, it's a movie.
I love it.
All right, mate, set me off. We're almost running out of time. And this week's edition of In Off the Post comes to us from Nick Snedden of Mount Albert Ponsonby.
Hey lads, enjoying the podcast. One question from me. Why isn't Waitangi Day the Derby Day? Should be Auckland versus Wellington.
Yeah.
Should always be on Waitangi.
Yes.
Why isn't it come to fruition yet? Up the port.
Good on you, Sneds. He's the beating heart of Mount Albert Ponsonby, Nick Snedden. It's a great question.
He's given me a lot of abuse over the years from the stand there.
Yeah. Great question, though. And I really feel like the A-League let themselves down in terms of the planning of the season. They've front-loaded the derbies. So why not put one on Waitangi Day and have it as like a regular annual fixture? You know that people would go to it. It's a national holiday here.
Yeah.
Why on earth didn't they do it? Spoon, you're close enough to that situation to understand why they may have gone away from that.
No, I've got no
Seriously?
answer. Yeah, so I've no notes from that. Yeah, I don't understand. And also, I would put it down in Wellington. I'd give it to Wellington and just say, look, we're going to have an annual fixture. It's going to be on the 6th of February in Wellington.
So kind of make it like the Boxing Day test at the MCG. Like that's what happens every single year.
In Wellington.
Yeah.
We go to watch the football on Waitangi Day, and you can build around it.
Yeah.
Annual fixture.
All right.
Happy days.
I think we should go home. Should we do that?
Yeah, good pod.
Let's
Good
do
time.
that. Yeah.
Good time.
Let's go.